You are now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. When it comes to, obviously, our clients now, we help mainly female entrepreneurs to get more visibility, get more authority.
Yeah.
What do you think stops women particularly from standing in their power and get taken seriously as a female entrepreneur?
I think it's about the feeling of feeling small, the fear of being, oh my God, they're going to look at me and see what I do and they're going to take the piss or they're going to judge. And I'm talking from experience as to sometimes where, especially in my earlier days of business, I was like, I don't know if this is good. I don't know if I should raise my hand because I was like this at school a lot. And I don't know if I should speak to that person over there, but if I do, what would I bloody say? Or who am I to even do this? Maybe I should just carry on what I'm doing because it's just safer. I'm scared. Like, I think a lot of people don't want to admit that they're scared, but it's a scary thing. And one of the biggest things I learnt with networking, when I really first started out, I was just like, what do I do here? Like, there's a room full of guys and a few ladies, and I was just like, what do I do? And all I will say is just get used to embracing the awkwardness. Just be fine with being awkward. I am the most awkward person networking, and that's how I've like made the connections, like spoken to people, collaborated people, like got opportunities, and vice versa, just added value. Like, I had to come out of that shell. I think you do have to put your big girl pants on, and eventually you will get to a point. You go, I'm sick and tired of just being sick and tired of this stuff. I'm just going to go out and do it. I'm sure you've had many times where it was like, well, no, fuck it. I'm just going to just need to go and do it. And sometimes it really literally is go and do it. Make it happen. That was like my ultimate slogan for last year. I was like, make it happen.
Fucking love that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you mentioned the raising your hand thing, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, whether you're talking about that metaphorically or actually raising your hand, a lot of us don't want to ask. And we have that voice in our heads that make us judge ourselves, or even worse, criticize and be the worst critic, going, God, Chloe, you shouldn't have said that, or you should have done that better. And what I've experienced is that voice never gets quieter. So if you guys are listening to this or watching this and you're thinking, when I'm successful, that voice will go away, I'm really sorry to tell you, it ain't going anywhere, right? Yeah. What you got to do, which I've learned, and I've actually been inspired a lot by Shim in this, because I've seen what she's like at events. So I'm like, fucking hell, I can't keep up with her. She's everywhere.
You're like, should we sit together? I was like, no.
I'm like, please sit next to me. I like us chatting through it. And she's like, no, I want to be over there chatting to that person. And it was actually you who recently, Shim and I attended an event earlier this year where Joe Wicks was the headline speaker. Yeah. And it was actually Shim who actually inspired me. She has no idea I'm going to say this, to actually just get put out my own way and actually ask him a question. And so I still remember raising my hand. They said, has anyone got any questions for Joe? And I mean, I was quite close to the front and I was wearing a very, very bright blazer, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
And I just raised my hand like so quickly. And Nick, who was interviewing him, a really good friend of mine, and Shim's, Nick James, said, yeah, Chloe, you go first. Now, because I was the first speaker, or the first person asking the question, it felt like about an hour between them passing me the fucking microphone and me raising my hand. So I raised my hand and I'm stood up then, and I'm waiting for the mic. And as I'm waiting for the mic, this voice is going, I can't believe you're going to ask the question. And what are you going to ask? What is everyone going to think of you? You know, sit back down, Chloe. And all these voices. And then I'm having this conversation in my head going, no, why can't I fucking ask him this question, right? Yeah. So as the mic comes over, and in my head, by the way, Shim and I are not sat next to each other because Shim likes to network and I'm sat somewhere else. And I know Shim's further behind me. I'm thinking, go on, Chloe. Shim would be going, just fucking ask the question. And so I'd get there and I've got the mic and I say, so Joe, I have a podcast, Inspired By, and I always ask this question to our guests, who inspires you the most? And he turned around and he went, that's a fantastic question. Yeah. And all of a sudden, just that validation, yes, he answered the question fantastically well. And I'm not going to share that here. One day, maybe I can ask him on the show, who knows? The fact he validated it and said, that's a fantastic question. It was like, I could feel it from my head to my toes. Yeah. It just flowed down. And actually that fear, that judgment, that self-doubt was gone. And my question for you, Shim, is that unfortunately not everyone has you metaphorically or actually next to them, like I do, saying, fucking just get out your own way and go and do it.
Yeah.
And also not a lot of people have the strength to stand up and deal with that self-doubt afterwards. Some of them hear it, listen to it and believe it and sit back down and go, no, don't worry, I don't need my question answered. What would you say to the women that are listening to this that have a question they want to ask? Maybe one of us, maybe a celebrity. They don't want to send that voice note in the DMs going, hi, sorry to interrupt you, but I'd love to ask this question.
Yeah.
What would you say to those women about getting out of their own way?
Great question. I would say, and I did this a lot, write it out. Just for you to see. For you, your ego, yourself, for you as a human, to just, whatever question you've got, write it out on a piece of paper and just read it out. And it's the repetitive nature of it that helps that person get out of their own way, because it's a strategy that I just come up with myself, and it was just like, that actually works. Because then I got used to just speaking to a random person at an event or birthday or whatever. I go, oh, hey, I've got a question actually, I'm really interested. And it just flows. Because you've been used to asking that question. You've been used to raising your hand. And you've got to be a teacher and a student in that moment for yourself. So the best thing you can ever do is pen or pencil, whatever it is, or your favourite colour. Get a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, and just write out the question that you have got all these burning desire to find the answer for. And when the opportunity presents itself, because it will, because the universe always listens, you will be in that position. The confidence will just come out more. And no such thing as you don't have confidence. Everybody has confidence. It's just, again, like intuition gets suppressed. Okay, so you got that fire in your belly. To ignite that fire again, write out those questions on a piece of paper. There's nothing more powerful than just doing that. In fact, you taught me that with books. Goes, stop doing on a laptop. I was like, really? get a book. And I did. And actually got gifted a book for Christmas, and I never used it for a year until recently. And I just started writing out stuff that I needed to put in content and books and things like that. And I definitely, it's the simplest thing you could do. And then see where that next step leads you. So, yeah.
Fantastic.